Let's continue our discussion of Calley Means' book, Good Energy. Today is the fifth part of our interpretation. Today we're talking about what to eat, what not to eat, and how to eat. In the past, people often said a certain food was nutritious. But what does that even mean now? Does nutritious mean it contains a lot of nutrients, or that it's rich in variety? To evaluate food quality, we need two basic principles. The first principle is variety over excess. Every nutrient, especially micronutrients, has a purpose, and you should aim for completeness. Once you've got enough, more isn't necessarily better. In fact, too much can be harmful, e.g. causing high blood sugar. There are no miracle foods. At a chemical level, everything is ordinary elements. There's no supreme tonic that more is always better. The second principle is about blood sugar control, known as stability over spikes. Have you ever felt sleepy after a high-carb meal? That's your blood sugar spiking. A sudden surge of carbs floods your system with glucose, triggering an insulin rush to handle it. But insulin often overcorrects, dropping your blood sugar rapidly, leaving you tired and sluggish. That's the crash. And it's stressful for your cardiovascular system. It can also lead to insulin resistance over time. Some argue that occasional spikes are fine, even healthy, like stress testing a dam. But what if that dam is hit by waves every day? It won't last. That's why we aim for steady blood sugar levels. This is also why sugary drinks are so problematic. Whole fruits contain fiber, which slows down sugar absorption. Juice, on the other hand, removes that fiber. The sugar hits your system fast, causing an immediate spike. Same with refined carbs. The damage from that spike is often worse than simply consuming a lot of sugar slowly. So if you grasp these two principles, variety over excess and stability over spikes, you'll better understand Means' more radical dietary suggestions. Means lists both good and bad energy foods. Let's start with the basics. The three macronutrients that provide us energy and make up our bodies are protein, fat, and carbohydrates. To understand her recommendations, you need to understand how these work. Protein is essential for building and maintaining muscle. Many adults don't get enough protein, which contributes to muscle loss as they age. Traditional Chinese diets tend to be low in meat, eggs, and dairy. So it's especially important to be mindful. While rice and flour contain trace amounts of protein, it's negligible. Vegetarians may rely on tofu, but even that isn't quite enough. Nuts are a good complementary source. Old beliefs that eggs raise cholesterol have largely been debunked. For most people, the problem isn't too much protein. It's too little. Fat gets broken down into fatty acids, like omega-3 and omega-6, which are crucial for cell membrane health. In theory, you could survive on protein, fat, and fiber alone, completely avoiding carbs. That's the basis of the ketogenic diet. Results vary from person to person. Proteins and fats can be converted slowly into glucose for energy. But it's a slow-release energy, not always enough for high-performance demands. Carbohydrates, on the other hand, are quick energy. They don't help build your body. They just fuel it. They're broken down into glucose to energize your cells. Excess glucose? Stored as fat. That's why vegetarians can still be overweight. The problem with carbs isn't just quantity. It's how fast they hit. That rapid energy is exactly what causes blood sugar spikes. So, an ideal diet prioritizes protein and fat, with carbs as a complement. Protein and fat are like high-quality batteries. Slow, steady, satisfying. Carbs? They're like bombs. Fast energy, high impact, easy to overdo. If you feel constantly fatigued, especially on a low-carb diet, you probably need some carbs. The brain is energy-intensive, and cognitive tasks suffer without glucose. But if you're feeling good, try cutting back. In Chinese diets, carbs mostly come from rice and wheat. Here lies another problem. Refined grains. Grains have an outer husk. Once that's removed, what remains is brown rice, which is edible and nutritious. Brown rice contains vitamins, minerals, and fiber, mostly in the bran and germ layers. But white rice and refined flour strip these away. Why? Bran and germ reduce shelf life and affect texture. For example, brown rice only lasts 6 to 12 months at room temperature. White rice lasts longer. But stripped of its nutrients, white rice is basically just starch. High in carbs, low in protein, and nearly void of other nutrients. Worse, it spikes blood sugar quickly. Means recommends 0 refined grains. If you must eat grains, choose whole grains. Like brown rice. Even so, she doesn't highly recommend them. One study followed over 100,000 adults for 9.4 years. Those who ate more than 350 g of refined grains daily had a 27% higher risk of death and a 33% higher risk of cardiovascular events compared to those who ate under 50 g per day. Clearly, refined grains are not healthy. But compared to ultra-processed foods, their harm is milder. Eating some occasionally isn't a big deal. But if you follow Means's advice and cut out grains entirely, what can you eat? Try tubers. Sweet potatoes, taro, yam. They contain carbs and fiber. Healthier than white rice. You can also eat legumes like soybeans or tofu. Low carb, high protein. Genetics matter. Some people's blood sugar spikes with rice, others with tofu. That's why continuous glucose monitors are useful. If you love the texture of rice and flour, there are alternatives. Cauliflower rice. Just chopped cauliflower shaped like rice. No need for a rice cooker. Just stir-fry or microwave. It mimics rice, but of course tastes different. Still, the fact that people go to such lengths to replace rice shows how unhealthy it is. Nut flours like almond or coconut flour can replace wheat flour in baking. They're not elastic, so not suitable for noodles. Shirataki noodles, made from konjac root. Look like noodles, but very low carb. Or try sweet potato noodles. More calories, but still better than wheat. Besides sugar and refined grains, Means warns against seed oils. Like soybean, peanut, and corn oil, which are common in Chinese kitchens. These oils are high in omega-6, which promotes inflammation. She recommends olive oil and avocado oil. Extracted from whole fruits, they're low in omega-6 and high in monounsaturated fats that improve heart health by lowering bad cholesterol, LDL, and raising good cholesterol, HDL. These oils are more expensive and mostly imported in China, but worth trying if you can afford it. If you want to go further, consider where your food comes from. While the nutrient content is generally the same, the soil it's grown in matters. To optimize micronutrient intake, Means suggests 3 principles. 1. Organic over conventional. Conventional farming relies heavily on synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. Fertilizer disrupts soil balance and microbial life. Pesticides like glyphosate may damage DNA and increase cancer risk. Monocropping also depletes soil nutrients and reduces biodiversity. The grains we eat come from such industrialized systems. Animals fed these grains may also carry excess omega-6 in their meat and eggs. Organic standards restrict synthetic chemicals and require crop rotation. 2. Regenerative over organic. Regenerative agriculture uses traditional methods. Rotating crops, integrating animals, covering soil with plants, using compost instead of chemical fertilizers. These practices create the most nutrient-dense food with rich biodiversity. 3. Local over distant. In the U.S., food travels an average of 1,500 miles from farm to table. During transport, it's sealed off from light and air, causing a 77% loss in vitamin C, a powerful antioxidant. In short, conventional is worse than organic is worse than regenerative, and imported is worse than local. The closer your food is to a traditional farm, the healthier it likely is. Of course, for modern city dwellers, this kind of mindful eating can be hard and expensive. In the past, people went hungry but ate clean food. Today, thanks to fertilizers and mechanization, we're well fed. But we now ask, is it healthy? Here's how to prioritize. Cut out ultra-processed foods. That's the biggest win. Avoid refined grains. Good for your health, but affects taste. Choose local, regenerative, organic foods if possible. It helps, but at a cost. Cutting out grains entirely? Optional, depending on your preference and needs. One last tip. I asked GPT-4o1 Pro to name the healthiest food. After a few seconds, it gave a clear answer. Broccoli. Broccoli is nutrient-dense. It's rich in vitamins, minerals, protein, for a vegetable, and dietary fiber. It supports gut health and contains plant compounds like sulforaphane, a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It also has flavonoids and polyphenol that help fight free radicals and support the immune system. You can stir-fry, steam, or mix it into salads. Fresh or frozen. It's affordable and easy. In short, eat it. A century ago, people struggled to eat enough. In those times, flavor was a luxury. Today, we pursue health. That's progress. And maybe in the next phase, we'll want our food to be not just healthy, but ethical. That's it for today's content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.